Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome all of you. Jaga, really happy to see you again. Welcome. So, we had done one session. The previous session was an important session. We had done on how, although there was a very great war where millions of people died in the Kurukshetra battle, but all of them went back to spiritual world because Lord Krishna was personally present in the battlefield. So that is a great, amazing thing, because it's not the same with other battlefields. Kurukshetra battlefield is special because Lord Krishna was personally present. And by his presence, by his glance, by his mercy, all the warriors went back to spiritual world. That was the session last time we did. At the same time, the Lord left a very great lesson to the world. What is dharma? What is adharma? What is virtue? What is vice? And Lord taught a very good lesson to the world. He has left behind for all of us. Today, we are proceeding with one more new session today, which is, as you see here, dignity for women. It's a very important topic. In the same series of verses, and today we'll be concluding the first chapter. Next time we come, we'll be proceeding with the second chapter. So the fourth reason that Arjuna gave was here, destruction of the family traditions. Verse numbers 39 to 43. In those series of verses, there is a very important talk about a women's position. So we will discuss that today. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo vibhavatyuta. Arjuna is telling here, with the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. How it happens is explained here, as you see here. And when we fight now, the men will be destroyed in the battle. And when the elderly men in the family get destroyed, then the family traditions will stop, because the elderly men are the guiding lights in families. And when they don't guide, what will happen, he's saying. Religion will increase, and then there will be destruction of dynasty, family tradition is vanquished, rest of the family becomes involved in religion, and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. So these things you all have seen in the previous sessions. Also I discussed about these 6 steps. Arjuna explains how gradually the family degradation happens. The elderly members die, Then the women become widows. Then the women will be polluted by other men. And the women also will degrade without any religious activities at home. No religious rituals. They'll become materialistic. And then because they are mixing with other men, they become polluted. And then the progeny that will be born will be called Varna Sankara, which means unwanted progeny. That means progeny brought about by illicit sex. And those children will be impure children, and they'll be hyperactive, and they will be engaged in nefarious activities. They'll become robbers and terrorists, and they will cause a great harm to society. And also at home, there'll be no more religious activities at home. They will all become very materialistic. Such a materialistic family will become a cancerous cell in the society. And imagine having multiple cancer cells in society. So that will actually destroy the whole world. These were the arguments of Arjuna, which I showed you last time. And now today we will discuss more about the position of woman in this session. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuvan Melitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So I always like to make slides because from slides it becomes easy for you to capture the concepts. As you see here, I put A, B numbering, so that it will be easy for you to see the step-by-step thing. You see, Varnashrama institution. Principles of religious traditions are meant to help members of the family grow and attain spiritual values. See, what is the word Varna Ashrama? Varna means work, your job, and Ashrama means spiritual status. In your Varna, there are 4 types of Varna that are described in the Vedas. It's called Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These four classes of Varna. But some people have misunderstood these 4 classes. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana. So you can easily remember these 4 with one acronym. TATA, you can remember, TATA. Teachers, administrators, traders, artisans. Teachers are Brahmanas. Administrators are Kshatriyas. And again, traders are Vaishyas. And artisans are Shudras. Now, in your own body, you can see you have a head, that is teachers, because the brain is here. Teachers can give vision. Teachers can listen well. Teachers can smell the grievances in the society. They can give upadesh with the mouth. Therefore, teachers are compared to the head. Because all these things are, their brain is also in the head. Therefore, teachers are compared to head. And second, administrators are compared to shoulders. Why shoulders? Because shoulders and the hand also. Because if any object falls on you, you will stop it with your hands. Correct, no? You will not stop with your head. You will stop with your hands. Therefore, the Kshatriyas are the administrators of society, protectors. They are compared to the hands and shoulders. And the Vaishyas, third category, traders, they are compared to the belly. Why? Because when you put food in the belly, it converts it into blood and circulates to all over the body. So similarly, the Vaishyas, third category people, they are the ones who give charity to Brahmanas. They give tax to Kshatriyas, and they give food, clothing, shelter to the Shudras, other 3 categories. They supply. Therefore, they are compared to belly. And the legs are compared to Shudras because the legs are supporting the other 3. The head, the trunk of the body, and the belly, all are supported by the leg. Similarly, the Shudras assist Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas in various activities. So is that clear to all of you, these 4? This is called social body, we call it. So it's a very scientific mechanism. But why the modern day people hate this caste system? They think that this caste system creates superiority, inferiority. They think like that. Actually, Brahmanas are proud that they are the head of the society and Shudras are leg of society. This is very bad. Make it a classless society, they are saying. How can you make a body without head, legs, and hands and belly? Can there be a body without this? If you make a body into a football like this, how can body function? We need these 4 parts in our body. So in this way, this is called social system. But eventually, in those days, it was running very smoothly. But eventually, when Brahmanas became corrupt, they became proud. They misused the system. System is a good system, but it was misused. Because of misuse of the system, therefore, people hate the system. Otherwise, even now in companies you go, there is R&D, which is Brahmanas. There is admin building, and they are Kshatriyas. And there is a finance and accounting, cost and accounting, that is Vaishyas. And there are workers working in the machines. They are laborers. You will find Shudras. So in every company, even now these 4 categories are there. Nobody can deny that. You can see in your own office, you will find these 4 categories of people. You will see that. So that is called Varna. And ashrama means brahmachari. Like I wear the saffron dress, you are all saying. So this saffron dress is called as a celibate. So what is the meaning of celibate? A celibate is a student who goes to the guru's ashrama and stays there and does not marry. And there are 2 types of brahmacharis. One brahmachari remains a celibate throughout life. It's called Naishtika brahmachari. Another brahmachari takes training from guru up to the age of 25 or something like that, 5 to 25. Then after that, he can enter into married life. And that is called Upakurvana brahmachari. Upakurvana brahmachari takes training and then gets married. Like Krishna and Sudama, they were Upakurvana brahmacharis. They went to the ashram of guru, stayed for some years, took training. Then Krishna became king of Dwaraka and Sudama became Brahman who was married afterwards. Both are permitted. Like I prefer to be Naishtika brahmachari. I joined the ashrama. I'm supposed to join at 5, but I joined at 25. And 25, now I'm 55 now. So the last 30 years I remained celibate. And I would like to continue like this. So that is Naishtika brahmachari, we call it. So that is brahmachari. Then grihastha is the second order, which is family life. Then after husband, wife, we get children and they grow. By 50, husband and wife take vanaprastha together. Then 50 to 75, they will travel to holy places. They will study spiritual books. They will lead a pure spiritual life. Husband and wife stay together not for sense gratification or enjoyment. They stay together as a spiritual partners between 50 to 75. And then 75, one husband may take sannyas. He goes to travel all over the world. And wife returns back to home to be with the children and guide them in spiritual life. That way, it's a very beautiful system it is. Because wife also got training with the husband for 25 years, 50 to 75. Yeah. I have been, actually, I never married in my life. I studied engineering and I joined at the age of 25. Now I'm 55 now. So 30 years I have been in ISKCON society as a brahmachari. But before that, I was going to various organizations searching for the truth. I was traveling all over India, meeting many gurus, sannyasis, asking questions. But I was also doing my engineering. I was a mechanical engineer. I worked for 4-5 years before dedicating my life to ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada's movement. Yeah. And brahmachari means he treats all women as mothers. He doesn't see anyone as in any other relationship. He sees all women as mothers. And he also has a delight in the study of the sacred wisdom literature like Bhagavad Gita and scriptures. So we study the spiritual books. What is brahmachari's duty? Study the scriptures, relish it, appreciate it, assimilate it, live it, and then teach it to others. And also you should learn chanting and you should teach others how to chant. You should worship the deity and teach others how to worship. So in this way, he spreads the holy message of the Lord to as many people as possible. And he also should live in the ashram of Guru. And you should follow the order of the Guru. And you should live a very simple life. We call it as a maximize Krishna time, minimize Maya time. You call it. The purpose of brahmachari's life is, withdraw from the worldly encumbrances, and then you can absorb yourself in study of scriptures and service to Lord, and then do great good work for the society. That is actually the purpose. And while living in the ashram of Guru, one should do very menial services like a cleaning, washing, worshipping the deity, that kind of very simple life. Because the requirement for a brahmachari is very simple. You just need one corner to sleep, and then you need little food, and then rest of the time you can do good work for the society. So brahmachari, and then grihastha ashrama is an ashram now I am going to talk about, where husband, wife, when they come together, they do a lot of sanskaras they do, which is purificatory ceremonies. For example, when a husband and wife come together, it's called grihastha ashram. Ashram means ashraya. Ashraya means taking shelter. Shelter of whom? Shelter of God in the family life. So husband and wife should also come together on the order of Guru. They can beget children. Now, husband and wife, when they decide to beget children, they do something called as Garbhadan Sanskar. In ISKCON society, husband and wife chant 50 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra each. Daily we chant actually 16 rounds. In our Japamala, we chant 16 rounds daily. But if one wants to beget a child, then husband should chant 50 rounds, wife should chant 50 rounds. They chant, become very, very pure at heart, and they invite a noble soul to come into the womb of the lady. And that's what they invite. That's called Garbhadan Sanskar, we call it. And then when the lady becomes conceived, then there are many other purificatory ceremonies. Like 7th month, there is a purificatory ceremony also. Preparing for her to beget a good child. And even every month also, she has to give many spiritual inputs. You all may be knowing, Prahalad Maharaj, when he was in the womb of his mother, he got a spiritual input from Narada. And therefore, Prahalad became a great devotee. In this way, the lady is given many spiritual inputs like that. And that by that spiritual input, she becomes, her child becomes a great devotee over a period of time. And then when the child is born, there is a cutting of the umbilical cord, Jata Karma. Then there is one purificatory ceremony done at that time. Afterwards, Namakaran Sanskar, name giving ceremony. That is also another purificatory ceremony. Then there is also, after that, then Annaprashan, which means the first grain offered to Lord Krishna, that prasadam is fed to the child. That is also a purificatory ceremony, like this. Then there is a sacred thread ceremony also. So a lot of, in this way you will find many, there are totally 40 such purificatory ceremonies happen in a family. Now you all may wonder why grihasthas are given so many purificatory ceremonies. Because purificatory ceremony or sanskar is an opportunity for them to invite all their relatives and friends to their home, bring them all, and then they do worship of the Lord. There is prasada offered to Lord, prasadam. Prasadam is distributed to everybody, which is also holy. And they do kirtans of the Lord. There are Vedic mantras are chanted. And all the people coming to that program will bless the child to get the mercy of the Lord. This type of function actually, it's a mass appeal by a group of people for benefiting one particular soul, actually purifies that personality and then elevates also. So it's called purificatory ceremony. So in any religious family, these are all supposed to happen, grihasthas are supposed to do. And husband and wife, they progress together. Although husband has to do a job and he has to be a breadwinner, bringing money to home, put up the family and everything he has to do, he also has the duty of doing religious rituals. So a husband has 3 duties. In ISKCON also we say 3 duties. Family duty, professional duty, devotional duty, like a tripod. So I have a very simple formula. I tell the grihasthas, morning for God, daytime for job, evening for family. You can keep it like that. Somebody was asking, why not morning for family? I said, no, first morning for God. You give, because early morning hours is very good for chanting God's names and studying scriptures. If you can do that, then by that you can become spiritually very sound, spiritually very stable. So when you are spiritually stable, then the day and the daytime you go for the profession and evening you give for the family. So in this way, a grihastha has to balance all the 3. Whether you are a brahmachari or a grihastha, whoever you be, man or woman, we all have to purify our heart and glorify by glorifying God. And we have to go back to God. That's the goal of human form of life. So there is brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. Today I told you a little bit more about grihastha now, because now when we are discussing this topic which is coming down, it will be clear. Here you can see the slide here. That is varna and ashrama, you understood now. Now what is the role of elders? They are responsible for maintaining purificatory sanskaras, I told you just now. Birth, death. Helping the younger generation on the path of salvation. Like here you can see their son, and there's a father and mother, and their son, and he is married to a girl, and now they are offering obeisances. You find this is very common. You will see that the younger ones offer obeisances, namaskar to the elder ones, and the elder ones' hearts become filled with compassion, and they bless them, as you see here. So the marriage ceremony also has many, many details in India. When you come and watch how the marriage happens, those ceremonies are all meant for increasing the affection and intimacy between the husband and wife, keeping God in the center. And they both understand that we are like, husband and wife are like half of body. We call it as Ardhanarishwar. We are, it's like husband and wife are like one unit. They have to together take the family ahead, keeping God in the center. So, see, this is what I told you. If you see the top left corner, Garbhadhanam, before conception, then Pumsavanam, 3rd month of pregnancy, Simantam, 7th month, and Jatakarma, after the child is born, for intellectual development of the child, and Namakaranam, name giving ceremony, Nishkramanam, taking child first time out of the house to the temple, Annaprashanam, feeding the first food offered to Lord Prasada, Chudakaranam, first cutting of the hair, Karnabedam, piercing the ear and putting a ring, Vidyarambam, the hand of the child will be taken by the guru to learn to write the alphabets, and writing some holy names of the Lord. Upanayanam, wearing sacred thread. Parishartham, before and after each year of study. And then Keshantam, for the boy, first shaving. For the Ritushuddhi, for the girl. That is for the first menstrual cycle. So in this way, these are all sanskaras are done. Samavartanam, end of the student's life in the ashram of Guru. And Vivaham, Vivaha Yajna, that is also a sanskar, marriage. Antyeshti, Antim sanskar, last rites. So in this way, there are 16 sanskaras are very prominent. Total there are 40 sanskaras, but out of which 16 are major. So these are all done for purification. Now, in our current day society, for doing all these things, it's not very easy for most of the people. Therefore, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago and said, just chant Hare Krishna. Just do the japam of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this day and age, people are not even aware of these things. These different sanskaras, and the details people may not know. So begin with just chanting Hare Krishna. As you chant Hare Krishna, over a period of few years, you become a fixed up Hare Krishna chanting devotee. Then some of the sanskaras can be practiced. So when you come to the ISKCON temples, many grihasthas will teach you how to perform this in a very simple manner. At the same time, the child can get the benefit of the sanskaras. So now here I have shown you dharma. On the right side, you see there is a box here. What is the meaning of dharma? Dharma actually comes from the word dhri, which means to sustain, that which is integral to something. Like dharma of the sugar is to be sweet, dharma of the fire is to be hot, dharma of the water is to be liquid. But sometimes the water becomes solid because of becoming ice. Actually, that is not natural for water. It's unnatural. But when you keep the water in the presence of the sun, it will naturally be liquid. Similarly, our heart is supposed to be liquid, like soft. It becomes hard sometimes. That is not natural. So real dharma means dhri, that which is integral to the jiva. So if you see in the word dharma on the left side, paro dharma, apara dharma is shown. So paro dharma is spiritual, duty to love and serve God. And apara dharma means material duty to protect the family, to perform all those sanskaras which I told you, and liberate the ancestors, these kind of things. And then you see this box below on the right side, the bottom. Sanatana refers to those principles which have descended through the dynasty from a remote time. Arjuna is wrongly considering Kula Dharma as Sanatana Dharma. So these are all Kula Dharma. You are born in a certain family, so these sanskaras have to be performed. So Arjuna is considering those things, but he is not understanding the Paro Dharma or spiritual. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit explanation about this. See, for example, a boy goes to the army or navy or air force and takes training. Now there's going to be a war, and he has to go for the war. But his mother is crying, my son, don't go for the war, you may die in the battle. Better you stay at home. So what he should do? Should he go for the war or should he stay with the mother? What do you think? Anybody? Any of you? Yeah?
Yeah, he should go if he's a Kshatriya.
Yeah, if he's Kshatriya, yeah. Isn't it? You all agree?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, he has to go for the war, yeah, isn't it? Because
you have a duty, and the duty is to go to war.
yeah, you are right. It's his duty. It's his duty to go to war. Because he has been trained as a warrior, he has to go to the war. But if his parents or mother is crying, he has to tell his mother that, see, these people have paid me salary. I have worked for 10 years or 20 years. I have got taken training. I am a soldier by profession. So the profession involves risk. Every profession involves risk. Like doctors, during the COVID time, they were taking risk and treating hundreds and thousands of patients. In the course of treating patients, some doctors died also. But they can't run away from the profession. Government made a compulsory rule that doctor who is a practicing doctor cannot run away. They have to do that duty. So in the same manner, the the warrior should go for the battle. That is his duty. Similarly, Arjuna as a warrior, he has to do his duty now. At the same time, just like the soldier has two duties. One is duty at home and one is duty in the war. Isn't it? For the profession. So that is for the nation, for the whole country he is working. Here he is only working for a small house. Similarly, Kula Dharma and Paro Dharma, when you say, Kula Dharma is for the some of the duties that you purificatory ceremony, all these things you do for the family. But when we talk about Paro Dharma, that is for the Lord. That is for love of God. That is for the whole universe. When you become a devotee of the Lord, when you serve God, then whole universe benefits by that. Love God, love all. We discussed that once before, isn't it?
That is true. That's true.
Yeah. So now let's proceed further. Adharma vibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyah strishu dushtasu varshneya jayate varna sankaraha. This is what I told Arjuna was telling, that he says, Adharma vibhavat Krishna. When elderly members of the family die in the battle, Krishna, pradushyanti kulastriyaha, the women become polluted by other men because the women are not cared for by the family members. So they get polluted by other men who will exploit the women. Strishu dushtasu varshneya. Then when the women become polluted, from them will be born, Varna Sankara means like unwanted progeny. Like here you see, there is a great need for a good population. The basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life, it says. Because when population is good, then people can live peacefully and they can have prosperity without looting and cheating and all that. And by God's grace, there will be prosperity. And they can peacefully make spiritual progress and go back to God. See, God has created this world for two purposes. One purpose is people want peace and prosperity and to enjoy material life. Lord says, okay, eat well and live with your family members, and whatever enjoyment you want, you can enjoy in a sanctioned way and sanctified way. Like whatever is sanctioned by God, you can enjoy that. But at the same time, make a plan for going back to Godhead, that is spiritual progress. Both things. Just like, for example, if a father is sending a son to a college, the son has some desire. I want to play guitar. I want to play baseball. I want to go for movies. I want to enjoy life. But the father says, okay, you do that. But along with that, do studies also and graduate from the course. and come and join my business. So Father is allowing him both the things. Okay. At the same time, you can enjoy but not hurt yourself. If the son says, no, Father, I want to eat drugs, I want to drink, I want to chew tobacco, Father will say, no, those are not good for you. Those are not sanctioned by me. That you should stop. You should only enjoy in a way that I sanction you. You want to play games, it's all right. You want to have a good mobile, I'll give you. You want to play guitar, it's all right. You can. These are allowed for you. Similarly, Krishna, God also has allowed you certain things to do in this world for our enjoyment we want to do. Okay, he has sanctioned it for you. But there are other things he is not sanctioning. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no, we call it as a gimme, we call it. No gambling, no intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex. So give up these 4 sinful activities, but then the other activities for enjoyment. For example, you can eat nice food, you can live in a house, you can marry and have a family if you wish. So these things are all permitted by God. At the same time, God says, this is not the goal of life. Simply doing a job, making money, having a bank balance, living with family, enjoy life, and then one day you die, you don't know where are you going. That is not the goal of life. The goal of life is to purify the heart by chanting the holy name and by studying the sacred scriptures and aligning with God's will. So 4 things I'll tell you. Acceptance of God, alignment with God, acting for the pleasure of God, acting on behalf of God. If you do, then you will go back to God in this very life. Acceptance of God is the first step. So, because everything in this world is happening by His will. He is the creator of everything. He is a maintainer of this world. And then alignment with God means study His word of God, and then you follow that in your life. And acting for the pleasure of God means chant Hare Krishna, and whatever He has told you to do, do them. And acting on behalf of God means when you marry and beget children, protect your wife, protect your children, take care of them in a way by which you will become an emitter of God's love for them and for the society. That is proper. That's what is expected of every individual in society. So now let's go back to this. So then there can be peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress. And then what good population will do, and what good population depends upon, here it is mentioned, chastity and faithfulness of womanhood. Like you see in the picture, these are all chaste women. They live in a very nice protected family. So those women who are very nicely cared for by the husband and by her in-laws, and protected doesn't mean just only giving them sari and ornaments and food alone. Also keeping a very nice spiritual ambience at home, and the woman also, husband and wife together practice spiritual life, and whatever child she is going to beget in her womb, and child will be a very powerful, saintly child. And chastity means she is loyal to one husband whom she marries, and she is faithful in her life. And same with the husband also. Husband is loyal to her. It's not that they have extramarital relationship, having multiple partners. They don't do that, because of which the family is a stable family. Like here you see, this is Shivaji Maharaja, very, very famous saintly king. When he was a small boy, his mother Jijabai, you see here, she trained him in religious activities, and she taught him how a king should rule the country and everything. And then later on he went on to become a great king. He was such a saintly king, he will go and touch the feet of Tukaram, who is a great pure devotee of Krishna. And he also had another great soul whose name is Samartha Ramdas, who guided him also. So he took guidance from great devotees of God. He lived a very righteous life. There are many things about his life. See what a kind king he was, I will tell you. One time he and his men were conquering one area. So his men asked, see, there are mosques and churches in this locality. Should we demolish them? He said, why are you guys thinking about demolishing? Because that is a place of worship. People are coming to bow down to God, salute God and worship and read the sacred texts given by God. it is great sin to demolish those places. Let them go on with their worship, he said. So you can see that he was so broad-minded. He wanted people of any denomination practice to go on with their worship of God. Another time they brought brought a woman in front of him, a very beautiful woman. And they told Shivaji Maharaj, we want to gift this person, this lady to you. And then Shivaji came to know that she's a married woman. And they have, because they conquered the kingdom, they brought this woman in front of him. He said, are you not ashamed to bring a married woman and gift me like this? She is like my mother. If somebody is married to another man, I should treat her as a mother. Matravat paradareshu. Go and give her back to her husband, he said. So where did he learn these things? Because he has learned these things from saintly people. So therefore, good association is very important. That's what I was telling you about this King Shivaji. He was such a righteous and pure king. So here, then about Prabhupada writes in one of the purports, 1.41, as children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. See, I have shown two pictures here. See the top picture and the bottom picture. Compare these two pictures. Therefore, both children and women require protection by elderly members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. Below you are seeing, women are not properly engaged by the family, so they are becoming very loose in dealings with other men. They have, they are getting into impressing game. Boys try to impress girls, girls try to impress boys. They get into this kind of games. So therefore, the various purificatory ceremonies, family traditions are prescribed, so that their chastity and devotion will give birth to good population. Tomorrow, if boys, girls are freely mixing like this, they may get polluted and the children born will not be saintly. And then there is also a possibility that they will be changing multiple partners. On the other hand, see the top picture. Here, Mata, a lady is teaching children. So the children are also benefiting. She is also getting good engagement. So, and that way all the children are going to become trained nicely, isn't it? And here you see women, how they are protected. How are the women protected? By engaging in religious principles, either under the father, husband, or son. When a girl is a little girl, she is cared for by the father. That means no man can chase after a girl because the father protects her. Like in my home, I was a brother of three girls. I had three sisters. So one elder sister and two younger sisters. So of course they were all coming from a good family, good looking. Some boys were troubling them. So when the boys would see me, they would run away because they saw that these girls are having a brother and the brother is a strong brother, so they would run away. So as soon as a girl is protected by a man, immediately you will find other people will fear. Imagine, for example, you are walking on the road, a beautiful young girl is coming. Everybody will be eyeing at her, staring at her. But imagine from behind her, a man comes in the front with a big mustache and say, "Hey, what do you want?" Immediately people say, "I don't want anything," they will run away. So therefore, a woman's protection is done by the father or by the husband or by the son. Initially father, later on when she marries a man, then husband. Later on if husband takes sannyas and goes away, then the son will take care of the woman. That means the woman right from the birth up to the death, she is always having a bodyguard to protect her. Now sometimes the modern girls think that, why do they say that man is superior, woman is inferior? Actually, it is not, the Vedas actually respect woman as a mother. They are not treated inferior. As I told you, like you will see that for one woman's sake, you will see one Draupadi was insulted, the whole Mahabharata war was fought. And one Sita was kidnapped, for that whole Ramayana war was fought. Ramayana and Mahabharata are two great epics amongst the Vedas. So you will see how much the women were cared for. Just for the sake of one woman's insult, the whole war was fought and millions of people are finished. That much respect they were given. Nowadays you find in India, many places billboards have women, many of the advertisements have women. they want to introduce a new car, they put women very scantily clothed and they use them for those purposes, for advertising purposes and all. So you go to the market to buy a bulb. If you buy a bulb, in the bulb packet you find a attractive looking woman. They put a picture everywhere. So women have become advertisement symbol nowadays. But that was not the case in the Vedic times. Women were treated as mother very respectfully. So they were addressed by the name Mataji, mother. That's the way they were called. So here you are seeing, a father is giving his daughter in marriage to a boy. You can see how she is trained, how she is chaste, and she's like a Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. And that is how the families are. Even today you will find many families like that. On the right side you see, if women are not protected, it leads to adultery or Varna Sankara. Already that man is sitting with a girl and he's having another affair. You can see that. So this is the problem in society. Then think about the children, what kind of children they will produce. Here, this is what I told you. For the protection of one woman, great wars are fought. Left side is Ramayana and right side is Mahabharata. How Ravana kidnapped Sita and he was destroyed. Although he was a great demon. Lord Rama destroyed him. Similarly, Lord Krishna supplied unlimited sari to protect the chastity of Draupadi. But later on, the whole race of Kauravas, 100 sons of Dhritarashtra were destroyed because of this. You will see that. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro kyesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. In such families, Arjuna is saying, I will explain to you what is pindodaka kriya. Doshairetaihi kulagnana varna sankara karakaihi utsadyante jati dharmaha kula dharmascha shashvataha. So here he is saying that when there is a fight, that will cause family destruction in the following 6-step sequence. Varna Sankara is produced. That's one of the things he says. From degradation of women comes unwanted progeny. See these two kids, how they are shouting and mother is not able to control them. Here also, this lady also has 2 kids with big wide open mouths. They're screaming. So in such families, the children are not properly purified from childhood. So they quarrel, like you see on the right bottom also. So what is a pindadan? On the right side picture, you see top picture, there are food, round things are arranged. So this is called as pinda. It is offered to the ancestors. Like for example, your grandfather or grandfather's father, when they all pass away, there is a program called a Shraddha we do every year. So this Shraddha ceremony is done once in a year on the day of the death of the ancestor. And the food is made and offered to Vishnu, Supreme Lord. And then that is offered to the ancestors. How do we offer it to the ancestors? We call 3 people to whom? Pitamaha, Prapitamaha, Vishvedeva, 3 people. 2 of them, 2 Brahmanas will be called, and the 3rd Brahmana will be representing Vishnu. 2 Brahmanas will represent your ancestors. So now they will eat the food that you have cooked and on behalf of your ancestors. Similarly, many things are offered in that. So the Shastras say that by doing this procedure, in whatever form your ancestor will be, if your ancestor will be in a goat's body, they will get fresh green grass, they will get. If your ancestor is in the body of a human being, then they will get these foods, very nice foods that you have supplied. It will be reached to them. How is it reached? By 2 means. There's a kusha grass and till, sesame seeds, with which we do the pujas we do. The Shastras, the scriptures, Vedas say that just like, for example, money order used to be there in India. If you pay money here in the post office, that money is reached to your relative somewhere else. Actually, the ancestral spirits are not invited into Brahmanas. Actually, the Brahmanas, when you give them the food, there are mantras chanted by which the benefit you are giving to the Brahmanas is transferred to that particular spirit, in whichever place the spirit is. Like that. And it is possible. For us, it may not be possible. For Lord, anything is possible. That kind of transmission is possible. Like for example, I send a mail here. My friend receives it across the globe somewhere. And in my sent box also, one copy of the mail will be there. Correct, no? Somebody may say, oh, your mail is here only. Yes, the mail is here also, there also, both the places. I also have a copy, and that fellow also gets a mail. Similarly, when you keep food in front of God, we say it's prasadam. Somebody may say, God has not eaten it. No, God can eat and give also one copy of food to you. One copy he can eat and one copy he can give it to you. He can do that. He can do such magic he can do. So, and also in any body they may be present, the benefit you send goes to them. That's actually called Pindada Kriya. But if you are a devotee of Krishna, you don't need these procedures, this type of procedures. You simply, on the day of your ancestors passing away, call some devotees to your home, do Hare Krishna Sankirtan, distribute prasadam to them. When they take prasad, they all will bless your ancestor to become a Krishna devotee, and they will achieve perfection in their life, wherever they are. That is spiritual benefit you are giving them, which is million times superior to giving them some material benefit of punya. Yeah. So, and that's what he's saying here. Who is not obliged for this? The purpose is to release them from any sinful reactions and ghostly existence. When they do these things, if some ancestor is a ghost, by your offering these things, they will be released from ghostly body, and then they will get a human body. And then one in devotional life is not obliged for this, because devotional service releases hundreds of thousands of forefathers from all misery. There is a verse in the Bhagavatam, 11:5-41. Devarashir bhuta aptranam pitranam na kinkaro nayam rinicha rajan. It says, that means your duty to all these things is over when you are a devotee. Simply if you are a devotee, like in the picture below you see, Vasudeva Devaki are worshipping Krishna, a lady is worshipping Krishna. So you become a devotee that is spiritual and that is all encompassing. Vatsanna kuladharmana manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushushruma. Oh Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. So all those people will go to hell, Krishna. So Anushushruma is saying, which means I have heard in disciplic succession, Krishna, that if we cause such situations like what we are talking about, then we will go to hell. So, yeah, like you on the right bottom you see, people who have done sinful activities are taken to the court of Yamaraj or superintendent of death, in whose front they will make a soul stand, and he is answerable. Like in Christianity, they call it as a day of judgment. Some people call it doomsday, they call it. So one has to be answerable to a superior, what all I did in my life, and accordingly punishments are awarded. So, and then therefore hellish life is there for both the family because of unwanted progeny, and also the destroyers of the family who are killing those people in the war. Plus there is risk of war and pandemic and all these things. The culture is destroyed. Community projects and family welfare will stop, like that Arjuna says. So actually these are set forth by Varnashrama. The purpose is ultimately salvation. Like here I have shown you two pictures on the right. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is proper because everybody does their work according to the psychophysical nature and then offer the fruits to God, Krishna, who is in the center. That's a perfect society. But if the society is not like this, it will become like what is below you see. People will indulge in all kinds of sinful activities. Result of breaking such projects, there is a chaos in society. People forget the ultimate goal of life. Aho bata mahat papam kartum jabasitha vayam yadrajya sukalobhena hantum svajana mudyata. He is saying, svajanam, the last line you see, hantum svajana mudyata. Krishna, by destroying the family members for Rajya Sukha Lobh means for greed of kingdom of the world, I am trying to kill my own family members. Svajanam, he is saying. Actually, Prabhupada has very nicely explained this word Svajanam. Why do you think only one group of people are your family, your Svajanam, you think? All souls ultimately are all children of God. So your family, when you say the whole world is your family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Not only your one group of people as your Swajan. Actually, we all think these are my people, then they are my enemies. This kind of comparisons we do in this world that is arising from limited consciousness. For example, one country thinks these are our people and the neighborhood country are our enemy people. So then they throw a bomb in the neighborhood country. That is, they make a division like that. Similarly, some caste people say, these caste people are my people, that caste people are our enemies, and they think like that. So this kind of very limited understanding is due to bodily consciousness. But in spiritual consciousness, one should know that all souls are, same in quality. And they all are children of God. I mean, God is a common father, denominator for all. And there is no, discrimination to be done on the superficial, based on the skin. I am black or you are white, or I am educated, you are uneducated, I am rich, you are poor, I am man, you are woman, or I am big, you are small, and all these things. Because all these, discriminations are done on the bodily platform, superficial bodily platform. On the soul platform, everybody is equal children of God. So Arjuna was not at the moment understanding in the beginning. So he was apparently an illusion now in the beginning, just to teach all of us a lesson. Krishna is using him as an instrument. So Arjuna is thinking that by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, I am driven by the desire. We are ready to kill even our own people, like that he's thinking. So he decided to die unarmed in the battlefield. He is saying this. Yadimam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. He's telling, my dear Krishna, I feel that let me go unarmed to the battle without carrying any weapons and die at the hands of the sons of Dhritarashtra. That is better for me, he says. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Bhuktva Arjuna Sankerato Pastavupavishat Visrajyasa Sharam Chapam Shokasam Vignamanasaha. He is saying, Evam Bhuktva. After having said this, Arjuna, what he did? Rato Upasta Upavishat. He sat down in the chariot. Visrajya, he gave up. Sasharam Chapam. He gave up the bow, gave up all the arrows. Shokasam Vignamanasaha. He became completely afflicted by lamentation. So, of course, the outer perplexity of Arjuna has created inner ambiguity for him. Seeing the outer perplexity of his relatives coming to fight with him has caused him inner ambiguity. He is unable to decide what to do. Actually, certainly Arjuna is very intelligent. He is looking into all the level details. But the problem is, all these arguments are based on the dharma or below, or on the bodily dharma. But the dharma of the soul is above all. And Krishna is going to explain the dharma of the soul from the second chapter, you will see. Here Arjuna is sitting down, putting the bow, and Krishna is going to start the instructions. So you can see the saintly qualities of Arjuna, soft-heartedness. He doesn't want to kill even for the exchange of 3 worlds. He's ready to forgive the aggressors also, although they have done so much atrocities, other party. So he's also feeling duty towards the family and the world also. He's ready to be killing unarmed in the battle. Such wonderful saintly qualities of Arjuna come out in this first chapter. Yeah. So actually Arjuna had taken a vow that I'll never keep my bow down. But here he kept his bow down himself, although he had taken a vow. He's a very soft-hearted devotee of the Lord. And these are the 5 reasons we have already discussed. He felt compassion for them. He thought, even if I can enjoy, but there'll be nobody to watch my enjoyment. And he didn't want to disturb the family traditions, which we discussed elaborately today. And then saintliness and fear of sinful reactions. And then he ultimately was having indecision, which will come in the second chapter. Next chapter, we will read that. So we finished the first chapter. Gita is not a book of violence or silence. It is a call for transcendence, it is said. So therefore, how it is transcendence, you will understand it in the second chapter when we begin now. So one question anybody has? Was it clear? Exactly.
I have one question.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to controlling a little bit of my senses, like like I try to follow like my little bit of brahmacharya life. I
Hmm.
try to follow it, but it's so tough, like that. I want to be engaged in pleasure. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, anything I see, feel like I want to be a part of pleasure. So how
Yeah.
can I stay away from those things?
Yeah. The first thing is you need good association of friends. Where do you live, Jeet?
Yes, I live in Ohio.
Oh, you live in Ohio. I was in Ohio State University in
Oh
Columbus.
wow.
Are you in Columbus?
No, I'm in Toledo actually. It's little far from here, like almost like 2.5 or maybe 3 hour, maybe.
Okay. So
But I
you,
should come. I should have driven actually. I should
yeah, I
have
would,
drawn over there.
okay. See, you can get in touch with Jaya Krishna. Jaya
Okay.
Krishna, Jaya Krishna, do you have you put your email address for them? So Jeet Joshi can contact you.
Yes, bro. I'll just put it here.
You
Uh,
can put it. So he will connect with me and give you the nearest address for you for meeting the devotees. Huh?
Thank you. Thank you.
Whichever place. See, this is the first thing in life. If right now you are joining these sessions on Sundays, which is very good, you are learning. But when you meet the group of devotees, in the company of devotees, it's very easy to follow the pure lifestyle. Hmm? It becomes very, very easy. So we have to keep away. There are two things we call it: feeding and fencing. We should do. Feeding means like if a plant has to be fed, you have to feed the water, you have to give it sunlight, you have to feed manure, all those things. And what is fencing? Fencing means to protect the plant from goats eating or elephants trampling it. And we have to protect it from heavy winds, all that. In the same manner, you have to protect yourself from evil forces, and you have to nourish yourself from sacred divine forces. Then you can bring out the angel in you. So therefore, I told you, associate with devotees and keep away from non-devotional association. So this is one thing I have told you. There are many more things which will come. The second chapter is very good for you. Second and third chapter, which is coming up, we will learn many things about mind and sense control. Okay. Yeah. Yes, there is a hand up. Mitravinda Mataji, yeah? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Hare Krishna. So I'm seeing that the title here is Dignity for Women. So I
Yeah,
wasn't
correct.
sure whether I should, once I got in, whether I should be here or not, because I only see jivas in male bodies. I wanted to say thank you for sharing, because I believe overall this will be helpful to these young men should they decide to go into the Grihastha ashram, get married, and understand their relationship with their mothers and aunties and other women as they progress in their spiritual connections.
Correct. Yeah.
I was wondering also if there's an understanding of the aspect of love regarding women.
Yes.
There's protection, there's education here,
Yeah.
there's knowledge about the different stages, and so many things that are relatable to just education, but the love component and
Yes.
not being robotic, and
Yes.
understanding that women have needs emotionally that the world does not care about for the most part, and how that relates to their interaction with community, children, and their husbands, or just that way. I'm sorry, I don't want to preempt. I just wanted to add that, and thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, in the talk today, the part of the talk was about how in the Vedic life, the women were given that security and safety and protection. When a girl is a little girl, she is always like eyelids are protecting the eyes. Like that, the father will protect the little girl. And when she is married, then always the husband is by her side, and she is protected from any evil force in the society. No other man can unnecessarily stare at her or trouble her. She's always protected. So, and also the protection of the husband also comes in the form of providing. Husband is a protector, provider, and guide for the family. But while talking about such a subject matter, sometimes people think, why husband takes such a superior role and wife has to be under his custody? Some people think like that. Therefore, I was explaining that it is like in Bible, it is said, God put all the animals in the custody of humans. But sometimes humans say that because God put it in our custody, then we can eat them. So Srila Prabhupada said, no, God has not put them in your custody for eating, but for protection, he said. Similarly, the men are not meant to exploit women, but the men are meant to protect women. So that was the point I was emphasizing. And I was also saying how in modern times, the women are used as a symbol for, advertisements and other things for exploitation. And that is actually cruelty. That is actually, so dignity for women, and that connection I had given this heading for today's session. So, and also these men, if they had any questions about the man's role and woman's role in our spiritual life, if they asked me, I would be very happy to answer, because I have a good clarity on this after having heard from my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you. So now we have completed the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Till now, there were a lot of details of names of soldiers and so many things in the first chapter. Some of you who are not familiar with Mahabharata might have found it a bit difficult. But now we are going to proceed with the second chapter, which will be very easy for you. Now we'll be understanding what is soul, what is God, and the relationship. All those things will come. What is Karma Yoga, path of action, how should we act? All those things will be cleared now as we proceed. Yeah. So we will be further going into the second chapter. Each chapter I have made a few topics, total of 50 topics. Now we have finished almost, I think, 9 or 10, isn't it? Now the other 40 topics will make it very clear. We'll be getting into the practical aspect of our life. And as one of our friends was asking question now a few minutes ago about the mind and senses and intelligence and their interplay between them, and relevance of the Gita to your practical life is going to start very soon. So stay connected and learn those things, and send your questions. Jai Krishna Prabhu, if they want to send questions, is there a link you have put?
Yes, Prabhuji. We are actually posting the link in the group every day.
Okay.
Before the class and after the class.
Yeah. Yes, so they can send the questions if they want. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, here one chat point Mata has said, according to Shastra, women are never to be punished. Women are otherwise, I think it's wrong to punish if you are supposed to live in love and harmony. Yeah, that is true. Actually, the codes of conduct that are given in the Shastra are very great, very, very deep. Shastra is exactly like a mother. Shastras are compared to Veda Mata, we say. They exactly know how the society which is having cancer can be cleansed, and how healing cells can be brought up in a society. Vedas know that. Vedas actually have a formula for everything, the best formula. We just have to, here Rohan has made a point, we talk about how men treat women, but what about how nowadays women are using this position to exploit men? We never talked about this. Okay. Actually, there is no end for this argument. I know that anybody can misuse a system and they can exploit system. So all of you are students of Gita now. You will learn the right perspective and you live a life righteously, and make sure that you are not cheated by anybody, nor should you cheat others. Don't cheat, don't get cheated. This is the Vedic formula, very simple. So don't talk about the society in general. Society in general has no knowledge now. People are groping in darkness. What is the use of criticizing and commenting about a public society? The world is going in its own course. But you, M.K. Gandhi, he said, you be the change, what you want to see in others. So make that change begin from yourself. Then do something good for the world. So here is a question link given in the chat. You can copy it for yourself. And you all are welcome to write to me. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation. Hare Krishna.